Thank you for coming on into live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go into the charts. And 2 12-hour candles later, we have retraced slightly down a bit into the vector of the impulse to the upside here after the drift off the point of control. What do I mean by that? Well, there's liquidity to grab on both sides, so let's go see what that liquidity is like on high block. What is high block, you say? Well, people lock their liquidity into the charts to get burnt to a crisp by the market maker for not using a stop loss, and we get to see where those crispy characters lie in wait, so let's do it now. Okay, so we had some pools down below. I said look out for this 118 million down at 26,806. And some partner in crime at 26,644, and they got them without hesitation.
Fatality.
And then they started to come back up as some wise guys opened up some shorts into that zone to the tune of 143 million, and they came back and spiked into the 100 extras and said nope.
Fatality.
And now we are resting in equilibrium for the weekend. Low liquidity weekend sideways action. Maybe the altcoins will allow some sort of maybe play while Bitcoin just holds the fort. Currently we're imbalanced to the tune of 7.4 billion to the downside, and long liquidity down here, which we could retrace into at any moment's notice. Expanding our vision to the 7-day. Switching over to max liquidity. Hopefully everyone could hear me today. There were no updates to my wave link. I think it's all right. All right, so coming to the 7-day time frame, we do see more imbalance down below to the tune 25.8 region. A good chunk of 10 billion down there is probably this amount of the 7 billion down here, 7.4. So coming down into this range wouldn't be weird to think. Going into the weekly candle close, trying to retrace into some of that imbalance to the downside on the 7-day. On the monthly we may not be done yet. If you come down into these regions, you do have a double-digit pool up at 27.6 and some double digits up to the 28.4 region. So the imbalance on the monthly is a draw to the upside path, sweeping this range from this region over here, this little wick off the 382 of the diagonal pitch fan idea. Expanding our vision to the 3-month. 3-month time frame does have some pools down below, imbalance on a large, but as we distance ourselves from that region, we do see these 27 billion up at 27.6 and some double-digit pools up in the 28k region that we could fatigue off of before making a drop of the sort. But overall imbalance looking to be that thick region down at 23.4, but overall you are building a pool spaced out over the ranges. 143 billion now at 32.1 and 171 billion at 24.3. So the overall draw on the 6-month is to the downside here at some point. I'm surprised we didn't hit it in this attempt here. What the inner workings of the market maker are strange ones. They leave it on by a fraction and then they come back without hesitation later. They allow people to double down or something. Coming to the 2-year time frame. 2-year time frame has this nice little 261 billion down at 23.6 and a 600 billion pool up to 33.2. I'd be surprised if we don't take this little pool first before going up to there. We were really close to doing it and we didn't. So let's go into the monthly for this 27.6 $13 billion pool, 27.6. We'll mark that off in the charts just to be sure. So yesterday's stream, we were saying while muted that if we can hold these 236 regions then we could be coming up into this zone here. We were saying if you can break above it, you could come up and look for a possible rejection up on the 706 or something like that. We did not get the push above the 236, so you could have used this 236 bearish trend-based fib entry model for just another retrace short with a tight stop loss above this 236 at 27,142. And sure enough, we retraced down a fair amount down to 26.6. And let's go see what the momentum has to say. I'm taking my kids to my friend's house in a minute, so I have to be quick on the draw today. Pardon me if it's a little bit fast. All right, so what is this little bit of happiness? Link is in the description for more. Momentummaster.info. Scroll down to features. Toggle all of the components to see what it looks like at Bitcoin's bottom before we knew it was a bottom, with the rocket ship here that took off, the trend cloud, the stochastic array, the baselines, all that fun stuff at your leisure. Okay, so the one thing we were talking about when while we were muted the other day, we were talking about possibly coming down in ABC down into these regions and stuff, and we basically held and ended up pumping up higher. I think it was here, was it? No, where was that? Yeah, it was around here, Thursday. So we were talking about possibly coming ABC down, and then we ended up pumping higher. And I was saying, how do we know that that was going to happen? It's like, well, we reclaimed the cloud and held it, and the cloud was still maintaining here. So if you were in that idea, we also negated a bearish trend-based fib level, like here, for example. So those trend-based fibs tell you a story if you can't get beneath the 236. Like here, we were up above it, putting candles above the 236, so you wouldn't be looking to short this down. So we were talking about coming down to this region, right? 2 days ago while we were muted, we were talking about coming down to here in the ABC, right? Just to be clear, because we had no audio. We were saying that we would come down to here. We didn't, and we were saying this 236 was your guide right here, right there, right when you started to come back above the 236 and didn't have any conviction. That would have been your idea to say this is not happening. All right, so that was the day before when we were muted, and the same thing here when we were talking yesterday while we were muted about coming up to this level. You need to get above these double 236s. This is the bearish kind, and this is this initial impulse retrace idea, and we managed to try twice, create an M pattern, and come back beneath it, negating the idea. So this is no longer an option. Okay, so let's refresh, go back to the daily, and make our descent through the time frames with the momentum. Interesting thing, our idea we talk about where you come above the cloud, you kiss the cloud, and you continue. Are we still seeing that? Or are we getting our 1, 2, 3 hits to the high here? Power of threes. Bearish trend-based fib level holding on the daily here. Are we going to get rejected and come back down into this? So we got the KD lines coming up, money flow, RSI together on the daily. Let's go ahead and see what the subtle 3-day support is like. Subtle 3-day support playing. KD line still going strong. We got a day and some change for it to close. Cloud is thinning, so even if we pump up to the 28.4 region, this could just be one big bearish kiss retrace idea to the cloud here, like this, and then coming down to here. You never know. Or we adjust this too from the entire impulse at that time. We could probably do that now. We already hit the 706 here, so this little impulse retrace idea is still kind of valid, so let's just do that. We're going to refresh this and remove this. Let's start fresh, shall we? So we're going to take this trend-based fib extension tool, go all the way down to the bottom, and all the way up to where we rose up here. Technically it should be here though. Yeah, I don't want to include impulses on 3-day like that, so I'm going to actually put that back. This is the most perfect one because this is the impulsive move down, the retracement back up, and the inside that math. I'm not going to mess with it right now. But overall, you have this possibility of a ABC heading down to these regions on the larger picture here. Alright, so going to the 22, we saw the 22 play out with the vector candle now getting overbought. It did its thing. Coming to the 12-hour. Making a meandering path above the cloud, possibly coming above that 236 of the 27K region. Overall, starting to get overbought on the stochastic. The money flow is still beneath the RSI, suggesting you could drift up more. 6-hour making its first top, could be pushing up for a double top in this meandering way. Volume tapering as we go into the weekend. 4-hour also coming down after being overbought, essentially going sideways while that happens, which could wind up for a double top here to go up a little bit further. The pool on the monthly having this 143 million imbalance as opposed to the 27 and 96. We have a $50 million differential to that 27142 region up here. So coming into that 50x short pool and coming into this 13 billion at 27.6 on the monthly could be something to look out for. 27.6 would take you up here, just sweeping the highs of the range here. There was a previous hit to 27.9 over here, coming back into that idea. If we go into the hourly, let's go take a look at the hourly real quick. Hourly holding the cloud nicely here and starting to come above it, with the hourly potential of coming back up above the cloud. Seeing how this would come above the 236 will be your guide. You have 1, 2, 3 hits to the high here at that 27K region, so possibly coming up to the 27K, and then what happens at this range is the key. So coming up to the 27.6 region, we're going to just move this to the 27.6. Once again, you have some pool up at the 27.142, another pool 27.6, really 27.142 first. So do we have this kind of battle that's going to occur around the 27K again? The hourly time frame suggests you could get a play up with the double top on the 4-hour. 6-hour subtle support almost running out here. 15-minute looking to kind of send it for the close of the daily, and you have this shift off the cloud potential as we came up here, and now holding the cloud and bouncing off the cloud on the 15. So over the weekend, sideways range trading most likely. So if you get up to that 50x pool, you might get another entry lower at some point as you ping in some more liquidity on the 1 minute. So coming up to this 27,163 seems to be the more likely target as we drift on the weekend and possibly come to that 13 billion at 27.6. So we could go all the way up to that 27.6 region at some stage going into the candle close. We'll come back and reassess. Most likely nothing happens over today, but we'll see. I'll just put this out for this region and then put a pool up here at 27.6. 27.6 was 27.6 exactly, yeah. So 27.6 has that nice pool over here. Some liquidity. So do we come back to that at some point? Overall, the 28K draw also calling on the higher time frame of the monthly. Holding the cloud on the hourly here, so yeah, just basically seeing this idea potentially happening. Got 3 hits to the high, so I'm not going to put it above that until I can see what it does. Also, overall picture, 3 hits to the high above this 236. Every time we make it above that bearish trend-based fib of the 236 here, we get rejected, rejected, rejected. I don't know. Have to see some conviction above that region. Don't have time to do too much of an in-depth analysis. Hopefully you guys were catching some of our NASDAQ trading. We had some with the Momentum Master crew yesterday with a little mingle trading scalping session. I was 8 for 10 on the live, 10 for 12 on the session afterwards. Nice little bounce off the total here. We reclaimed the cloud and bounced up. Coming back to the cloud, looks to be thicker and healthier than its clearer bounces off of the cloud here. So if we hold this cloud on total, we could get that burst up. Same thing occurring on total 3, getting this nice uptrend, possibly continuing. So the upside seems to be the play as the potential for the USDT dominance drops and people enter their trades by putting their USDT into assets. This drops, so coming back lower perhaps on this being people continuing to put their money into something as the USDT possibly the dominance drops some more. Bitcoin dominance is dropping, which means most likely these altcoins are having a little bit of a rally here. Let's see what's you have Gala 6%, 6% on Mana, 3% on Sand. I mean, the easiest way to do this, cryptobubbles.net, and you can see Gala, Mana, Rune, Sui, yeah, having a little bit of a altcoin weekend so far. So this total 3 stronger than the angle is stronger than total 1. Actually about the same, but still holding strong on the cloud. So you could see this little bit of a push for BTC coming up to that range to take out the 50x pool here. And that's about it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, folks. Short but sweet, hopefully. And yeah, thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same, bringing the fire, the accuracy, the precision, all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you